resilient, purpose-driven mindset. That with all the stuff that's going on, with all of the confusion from the scientific community, from the leadership, from the presidency on down, it has collateral effect. And there are so many people that's confused. You wear the mask so you don't have to wear the mask. Or if you have the coronavirus, you need to wear the mask so you don't give it to somebody else. And if you have it, you should stay in the house. They got all kind of things. If you make love, you should have the mask on. That is not romantic to me. And you know, I say, wait a minute, y'all coming all up in the bedroom. Okay, baby, put your mask on. Well, I'm gonna kiss you with my mask on. Oh, behave, whatever. But all kind of confused, you know, all this stuff going on. And you could die from talking to somebody with a mask that's held under their nose. You know why my hair is like it and I'm looking like Kid and play like Kid from House Party? Because my barber, he likes to wear his mask like this. I said, man, put your mask on, all right? I told him. So he does this. Man, hey, hello. Habla español, English? What? Come on, have I told? Put your mask on, cover your mouth. I know your breath kicking like Bruce Lee, but cover the nose too. It's, I mean, about to make me lose my mind over here. So I decided I'm not going through that. I'm not going through that. I'm not coming out the house till 2027. And I work on myself. I got some new squirrel friends. I'm bilingual. I speak squirrely. And I listen to motivational messages first thing in the morning. You want to listen to my voice. Go on YouTube. Find Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. Find Les Brown. It's possible. And I tell the story about the bamboo tree. Find Les Brown getting unstuck. And I talk about Chicken Man. Listen to things. Listen to me. Listen to things that can build your mental resiliency. You want to have a resilient, purpose-driven mindset that will focus your mind on the goals that you want to achieve, on the things that you need to do to reinvent yourself, to rethink your life, to see whether or not you're on the path to becoming the next greatest version of yourself. And in order to get through this time, I mean, sometimes I when I wake up in the morning, I said, this is still not a dream. This is crazy. People say, I'd like to come by and see you. Is that right? Okay, I'm on the first floor. We can talk through the window. Come on. I mean, just think about this. Every day when I see people with masks on looking outside my window, seeing the squirrels jumping from one tree to the other, they never lose their footing. That's why I learned squirrely. Tyrone, he's leading everybody. He's introducing everybody to me. He's the most motivated squirrel in my neighborhood. Les Brown is about to do his StreamYard or another Zoom. My kids say I've been in the house too long. I'm suffering from cabin fever. Whatever. So read 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. Drill yourself. You say, well, I've listened to it. No. Listen to it until you're manifesting results. Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. So in order to develop that resilient, purpose-driven mindset, you want to listen to the messages over and over, take notes on things that jumps out for you, and become the embodiment of it, and develop that kind of mindset and how you carry yourself and how you face this thing called life. Faith not tested can't be trusted. So you got to have faith in yourself. But we're being tested right now. If you've never been tested, Listen to me. No test, no testimony. Faith not tested can't be trusted. It's easy to have faith when things are going great. When the kids are acting like they have good sense. When you have a job, you have money, you have your health. Oh, no big deal then. But when life knocks on the door, when you go through some stuff, when you get a bad diagnosis, that's when you have to pull on your faith. That's when you have to be resilient. I've got a saying, and all of you know it, life knocks you down, try and land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Now, here's the other thing that's very important. As you look at yourself, you want to master at least three things, multiple streams of income. Three things: I speak, I train speakers, and I'm an author. And I got other things I'm expanding, and I'm 75. Well, why are you still doing it? Because you're never too old to learn, and you're never too young to teach. I believe that the reason that we look at people over a certain age, and Alzheimer's and dementia becomes active, is because they are inactive. My mother used to say it, if you don't use it, you lose it. It takes longer to wear out than to rust out. So the goal is to be actively engaged in life, raising the bar on yourself. Turn down the amount of time that you spend entertaining yourself, watching the television, as my daughter, Dr. Ona Brown, would say, and do things that will stimulate your thinking. It will keep you young. Just because you're 75, chronologically don't mean that you have to look 75. No. And so I decided, just because I'm 75, you're not going to count me out. I'm still here. I'm going to be engaged in this thing called life because I have not done my best work yet. You have not done your best work yet. Every day is the best day of your life, as Orrin Hudson would say out of Atlanta, the chess master. Why? Because if you don't believe that, try missing a day. Every day is the best day of your life. Look for ways in which you can begin to master something, learn something today that you did not know yesterday. Expand your horizon, expand your vision of what's possible for you. Continuously be a student. My high school theme was, you never find out how much you know until you find out how little you know. Study. The people that are going to make it today are looking at the various trends. They're going from mindset mastery, learning 3 things that they can master to create non-performance income, and they're studying continuously, learning things that they can get at the end of their fingertips on the internet. There's no excuse today for not being in the mindset of achieving something beyond that which you have already done. Life is an adventure. Helen Keller said life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. And this is an exciting time that you can earn money at the comfort of your home. Think about that. Virtually around the world. I just finished talking to some people in Germany. And then I talked to some people in Toronto, Canada. I'm making money around the world and I'm still home, virtually. Take advantage of this. This is something you want to learn, mindset mastery and skill set mastery of the internet. I want to talk to you about shifting your focus and managing your mind and the thoughts that you have. Because when we wake up in the morning, advertisers are competing for the real estate of our minds. And what we have to do is begin to be proactive in programming ourselves rather than allowing ourselves to be programmed by the world. That's why we're told, be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. If you agree with me, I want you to put yes in the comment section. Just put yes. Make a brother feel good. and something else. See, there are things that's going to happen just beyond our reach. And it's important that you be okay with that. That's God's business. You do what you can do, handling your business and those things that you can handle, and those things that's beyond you, you have to let go or be dragged. Because there's a lot of stuff, this thing called life where we are, we've never been here before. I feel like Mother Teresa, she said, Lord, I know you know how much I can bear. I just wish you didn't have so much confidence in me. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. So I want to share some thoughts with you. People ask me, what do you do during tough times? How do you handle it? Well, they ask the right person. As I speak to you, I have this trophy here from Cancer Centers of America. It is a trophy that you don't want. It's called the Cancer Center Perseverance Award. Perseverance. I'm a 29-year, 4th stage prostate cancer conqueror. All right, so you don't want that award. Some awards you want, some awards you don't want. But I'm glad to get the award because I'm still here. So the question becomes, how do you do that? How do you keep a positive mindset in the face of a prognosis and say, you're on the way out? How do you deal with that? Well, number one, what's very important is to understand this, that at any given time, we have the power to choose. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve. We have the power to choose to focus on the things that are not what we want them to be, or focus on what we can do to create the things that we want in our lives. See, because at the end of the day, life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. So I deliberately, when I wake up in the morning, I'm grateful. I say, I'm great and grateful. I'm still here. There are a lot of people that didn't wake up this morning. They're taking a dirt nap. Hello? So I'm grateful. I'm not in pain. You can hear my voice. I can still serve. At 77, I can still make an impact, all right? So what you have to do is face this. Every day is not going to be a good day, but there's some good in every day. So here's my challenge to you. Look for the good. I ain't playing with you. I'm coming for you right now. Look for the good because it's here. And then just take the time to savor it. What most people do, and this is crucial, they leave their minds open like a universal garbage can and taking in stuff and information that they can't do anything about. I support the Ukrainians without any question. I pray for them. I support them. I will contribute to anything to help people who are being displaced. But I will not watch the news on that. It's too negative. I'm not going to inundate my mind with stuff that does not build me up. You remember that song, Don't Let Nobody Bring Me No Bad News? If you can identify with what I'm saying up in here. My brother, I was talking to him the other day, my twin brother, and I can hear him cranking up to give me some bad news. I said, hold just a minute. I paused for a minute. I said, you know what? I'm gonna circle back with you. And so he thought I hung up, and I heard him say in the background, he's not gonna call me back. He's right. No, I don't want to hear that. He's about to tell me some problem about somebody. I don't know that person. Why do I need that in my mind? I remember a story about a very brilliant man. We all have heard his name, Einstein, Albert Einstein, and he was asked for his phone number. And he went to a payphone booth and went into the telephone booth and opened up a telephone book. And they said, wait a minute, you Einstein, you don't know your phone number? He said, I don't keep information in my mind that's not usable to me. I don't call myself. Why should I put some stuff in my mind about things I can't do anything about other than saying, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. But I will take some things in that inspire me, things that encourage people that I can use in my presentations. I tell speakers and I train speakers, and some of you out there, I want you to listen to me, and I'm going to give you a strategy on how to become a powerful global voice of transformation. You got to be a good listener. I listen for stories that encourage, that motivate, that inspire. There's a story in the internet of a little 8-year-old Ukrainian girl who went up to a soldier who had all of his gear and his rifle and everything he needs to kill somebody. And this little girl, unarmed, but all she had was her fist, and she went up and she punched him. Now, of course, she didn't cause any damage, but she was striking a blow for give me liberty or give me death. I know you can kill me. I know you don't value my life. I know y'all just blew up a hospital with children in there. I know that, but we're fighting for our freedom here. And all I got is this right here, and I'm gonna come over there, I'm gonna punch you with everything I got. Now that's inspiring. I wanna hear those kind of stories. Tell me stories that I can share, that can lift people's spirits, that can encourage people. Because see, at the end of the day, we don't know how strong we are until we have to be strong. You don't know enough about yourself to be a wimp. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You are more than a conqueror. And when you just be with that, I'm more than a conqueror. I'm made in the likeness and image of God. It doesn't get any better than that. I've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. These are not just words to be read, but to be lived from. People say, practice what you preach. No, preach what you practice. Sometimes you have to get an attitude with yourself and begin to realize we're more blessed than we give ourselves credit for being, and we must focus on that. When I get up in the morning, I have a gratitude list. I have things that I write down that I'm grateful for, that you can hear me, that I can see. I got my nephew, James, he went stone blind. My twin brother's son, blind at 38. I'm grateful that I have the ability to see and to hear, and that I can pick up my body weight. There was a period of time I was being rolled around in a wheelchair because of sciatica pain and the pain from the little C, cancer. So there's going to always be some stuff. Viktor Frankl, he talks about it in Man's Search for Meaning. He said, you either in a problem, or you just left one, or you headed toward one. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God. What is that armor? Faith. And faith not tested can't be trusted. Perseverance, you're gonna go through some stuff. Lady, she had a car accident and her neck was broken. She said, my neck was broken, but my neck didn't break me. Although she's a quadriplegic, she's still living a productive life. She's not somewhere feeling sorry for herself. The other thing is, you gotta watch who you talk to. I have a friend named Ed Foreman who just passed a few weeks ago, and it's the first seminar that I went to. Ed had something that he did, and at first I didn't get it. Ed will never ask you, how you doing? I said, Ed, why don't you ask how people are feeling? He said, because they might tell you. He said, no. He said, I just tell him, you're doing great. You look better this time than the last time I saw you. He said, I compliment him. I find something good to say because people want to tell somebody about what they're dealing with, but you want to call forth those things that be not as though they were. Do you believe that? Are you down with that? Do you understand what I'm sharing with you right now? It's a part of what we have been told, and it's something that we don't want to just hear it, but to live from that place, to stand in that place of power. I believe that we're here for a reason. And all this stuff that's happening, that God is in the midst of it. But therefore, take unto you the whole armor that we've got to stand up inside ourselves and face it head on, called life. And sometimes I have to get an attitude with myself because sometimes things get to me. Got a son who's bipolar schizophrenic. And I had to realize, hey, that's his trip. He doesn't want to take his medication. He's 38 years old. That's beyond me. That's him and God. They got to work that thing out. I'm not going to stress myself out about some stuff that I can't control. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot control, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. See, it's easy to say those nice little words when you don't have any pain in your body and your bills are paid, you're not facing foreclosure, or your relationship is working out fine and your children act like they have good sense. It's easy to say those things. But when life knocks, when life challenges you, that's when you have to pull and call on the whole armor. That's when you have to be able to understand, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Oh boy, this thing called life. I saw something with some actors they were talking about. Had they learned when they were younger that whatever you're going through right now, if it's bad, if it's painful, if it's tragic, guess what? This too shall pass. And whatever you're going through right now, if it's a celebration, you're happy, you are joyful, things are going great, you feel good in your body, you're physically capable to doing whatever you want to do, your relationship is working out fine, this too shall pass. What do you mean? Life is a roller coaster. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go well, sometimes they don't go so well. And we have the power to be an observer and not buy into it and decide, wait a minute, I'm gonna find some good in this. I'm gonna wrestle with this angel until I find my blessing up in here. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, peace of mind, for your relationship, for your health, once you stop fighting for what you want, a good night's sleep, a relationship that's where you love each other and care about each other and got each other's back. Once you are unwilling to fight for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. I ain't playing with you. I'm telling you what I know. You have something special. And even if you don't believe me, I don't care. I'm gonna say it until I get through to you. Why? Because that's my mission. I believe live your life the way you want to leave your life. And that's what I'm doing. My goal is to leave my life inspiring you, encouraging you, lifting spirits, reminding you of the greatness that you have in you, reminding you that you are a treasure, you are a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master. Oh, behave. Hello? So having said those words, I want you to know, Tyrone and I, my little squirrel friend, you have something special. You have greatness in you. I have a message for you. Releasing the past and embracing the newness of life. The newness of life. And when you do that, you are willing to make a radical change on how you show up. When I was in pursuit of my goal and dream of becoming a motivational speaker, before I got any speaking engagements, I used to, and I'm talking about to be paid, I used to go to the shopping mall after walking around Belle Isle for about 5 or 6 times in Detroit, saying I'm the world's greatest orator. I wasn't being braggadocious. I hadn't even been paid to speak yet, but I was calling forth those things that be not as though they were. And then I would get dressed up and go to the shopping mall. And I want you to write this down, 3 feet principle, 3 feet principle. That I practice the 3 feet principle, and that, and that is, talk to people. Write this down. I practice talk to people. I would talk to anybody that got within 3 feet of me. Hi, my name is Les Brown, and I'm a motivational speaker. Do you or anyone you know that can use my services? And if that doesn't work, guess what? I'll talk to more people. It's called a TTP principle, a TTM principle. Write this down. TT, talk to people, and then talk to more people. TTMP. About your business, about your product, about the things that you want to do with your life and where you're going. And you have no idea on how that's going to manifest itself. You have no idea. If you just listen to me every day, I'm gonna give you something to do. You get an assignment, and the assignment now is talk to people, the TTMP, talk to more people. And we're gonna do this all virtually, because I'm not going out to shopping mall now. I don't go to shopping mall. I'm in the house. I don't go anywhere. Tyrone and I, we stay in the house. We keep social distancing from each other. Well, if you didn't know, Tyrone is a squirrel. That he taught me squirrely. We talk to each other every day. So back on point. And so therefore, you want to find ways to communicate and reach people and talk to a minimum of 7 people every day about your goal, about your dream, and ask, do you or someone you know that will be helpful to me? Case in point, I was catching a plane from Detroit. I was living at the Riverfront Apartments to Chicago, and maybe about 5 people on the plane. I sat by a guy named Lafayette Jones. I don't know what happened to Lafayette Jones. Somebody out there know Lafayette Jones. And we both were born on February the 17th. It's our birthday. I said, you born February 17th? He said, yes. I said, so was Michael Jordan and Jim Brown. He said, is that right? He said, what do you do? I said, I'm glad you asked. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm going to become known and famous for that. Can you or someone you know use my services? He said, whoa. He said, man, I work for Robert Johnson Products, and our speaker canceled. He said, are you good? I said, that's what people say. He said, how much do you charge? At that time, I didn't know how much to charge. Listen to this. Listen to me. Are you listening? I said, how much have you allocated? He said, $5,000. I looked at him. Are you all right, brother? I said, did you say $5,000? He said, yes. Well, I didn't answer right away because I didn't want to speak in unknown tongues. Oh my goodness! never had $5,000 for a speech in my life. I got love offerings for $5 and $25 that show that they didn't love you anymore. We love you, but Jesus loves you more. I said, yes. So then, but I furthered the conversation. I said, Lafayette, I'm going to be on the Robert Schuller show. He said, is that right? Yes, millenniums, this used to be a nationally televised ministry. He said, when? I said, I don't know exactly. Do you know Robert Schuller or know someone who knows Robert Schuller? He said, yes, my boss does. He gave him $1 million for his ministry. I said, are you kidding? Now, mind you, I've been saying this and asking this question for 2 years. Did anybody that got within 3 feet of me, I would say I'm a speaker? Do you or someone you know can use my services? And I'm going to be on the Robert Schuller show. Televised ministry. You got to call forth those things that be not as though they were. There's power. You, as a friend of mine, billionaire PA, speak your dream into existence. And he said, my boss knows him, Robert Johnson. I said, is that right? I did the event. I spoke. At the end, I got a standing ovation. And Mr. Johnson ran to the podium. He said, who are you? I said, I'm Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. He said, man, you were good. You saved the day. He said, man, if I can ever do anything for you, let me know. I said, do you know Robert Schuller? He said, yes, I gave $1 million to his ministry. I said, I want to be on his program. He said, you got it. The next day at Riverfront Apartments, I got a phone call. Hello? Hi, this is Les Brown. This is Robert Schuller. Robert Schuller? Yes. Wow. Wow. Hold it just a minute. I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Put the phone down, ready. It's number one. It's number one. Then I came back. Hello? You can't make this stuff up. I was so excited. He said, I heard you're a very good speaker. I said, that's what people say. My mother taught me self-praise brings no recommendation. He said, I want you on my program. And he scheduled me, and I went in and I did the show 2 different times. Listen to me. You got through 2020. You got through 2020 against all odds. You showed up. You have favor with God. You showed up. There is something that you're supposed to do. And it's not the same thing you've been doing already. Make a radical change. All of us are the same way. The only thing that separates us are the choices and our behaviors. Listen to me. Our choices, our behavior, our habits. We'll be a team, a community of greatness, of people working on their goals and their dreams. Because you can't do it by yourself. Especially now, all this stuff that's going on right now. No, I cut my hair because I didn't want to see the same person in the mirror in 2021 that I saw in 2020. No, I'm working on myself. Got on a scale, and it was less of me today than yesterday because I'm serious. See, you got to be serious. Yeah, no. You got to be serious. You got to hunker down. You've got to be anchored in your mind. Why? Because we don't know what's coming. Life is stalking us. Look behind and thank God. I want you to do that right now. Just look behind right now. Just reflect on this past year and your life. And you woke up this morning. You woke up. Just so many ways you could have been taken out. So today, I want you to visualize the goal that you want to achieve. Because the foundation, you got to build the foundation. But I want you to make a commitment. I've made a commitment to take better care of myself, to get off my medication. I've made a commitment to be more productive, to be more impactful. I made a commitment to at least keep a closer contact and build closer relationships with my family and with my friends. I've made a commitment, have more quiet time and exercise and doing the things that will indicate that I plan to die at young at an old age, taking care of myself. You owe this to yourself. You have something special. You have greatness in you. And in order to get that greatness out, only 1% of people achieve greatness. Only to do that and have the kind of impact you want to make in the world, got to be hungry. Got to be hungry. And for those of you that want to speak, I got something for you too. Got some videos. I want you to go to hungrytospeak.com. hungrytospeak.com. And I'm giving both of these away. Yes, why? God's been so good to me. I'm here because of his grace and mercy, and I'm thankful for you. You're listening to me, for your honoring me with your presence, with your listening to the products that I produce, and you're making the dramatic changes in your life as somebody spoke to me, and I became a different kind of person. I want to be to you what Mike Williams has been to me. I want to be to you what Mr. Leroy Washington has been to me. I want to be to you what my mother has been to me. And some of you call me Pops. They say they call me Pops now. I'd be you the oldest one in the group of my spiritual sons and daughters. Now, when you practice, listen to me, listen. When you make a commitment, if you're serious about your goals and dreams, because I've been reviewing this, when you make a commitment to do what you can, where you are with what you have, and never be satisfied, and be singly focused, focus on something you want to do that's important to you, not to anybody else, that's important to you. And every day you take action steps at the beginning of the year. Why? Because it's easy to become a victim of weapons of mass distractions. To be distracted, you miss some steps. So I'm giving you something simple and practical to do. Just talk to 7 people about your dream. That's all I'm asking you to do. 7 people for 7 days. 7 days. And for 7 days, don't speak anything negative about yourself, about anybody. In the beginning was the Word. Death and life is in the tongue. Listen, the book of life says, death and life is in the tongue. Why? Because we speak more death. Speak life, speak positive words. When you find yourself and you slip and you say something negative, say, cancel that. Cancel that. Yes. And don't speak anything negative about anybody else. No, don't do that. 7-day mental diet. When you find yourself, we can't control the thoughts that come in our minds, but we can control the thoughts that we dwell on. Listen to me. This is how I got here. So when you find yourself thinking negative thoughts because of the weapons of mass distractions, just say, cancel that. See, we can't control the thoughts that come in our minds, but we can control the thoughts that we dwell on. I remember a friend of mine that was incarcerated, and for years she had thrown her life away in alcohol and to drugs. And I said, what was the moment that you turned your life around? She's been sober now for 21 years. And she said one day she was cleaning the toilet of the warden of the prison. And she said, while she's cleaning the toilet and she flushed the toilet, she said it was like an aha moment, that she said to herself, if I stop doing drugs, I'll never have to clean a warden's toilet again. Isn't that interesting? Well, that was like an awakening for her. And from that time to this time, she never touched a glass of alcohol. From that time to this time, she stopped using drugs. From that time to this time, she stopped associating with her friends who were still into drugs. And many to this day, those that are not in jail or those that are not dead yet, that moment, all of us have moments in our lives when it's a wake-up moment. I remember I was 10 years old and working with my mother, and she was on Miami Beach and working for families, wealthy families, and cooking for them. And we ate the food left over from these families that she cooked for. They were kind and generous people. They would say, Mamie, whatever food is left over, you can pack it up and take it home to those children that you have adopted. And I remember looking around these big, beautiful homes, and I said, Mama, and she said, Leslie, what is it? I said, one day, I'm gonna buy you a big, beautiful home, just like this. And now, where did that come from? Now, I have a twin brother, and I think that what happened for me that did not happen for my brother, the part of the mansion that he worked in, he didn't have exposure to something that I had. The owner of this home, this wealthy man, he was playing motivational messages every day. I had to keep his office clean and the ashtrays clean of his cigars, and had to vacuum and dust the bookshelf. But while I was doing that, I was listening to these messages. We become what we think about, by Earl Nightingale. All of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. Always strive to get on top in life, because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. I did not know at the time that my mind was being programmed. See, if you look at yourself and look at your goals and look at your dreams, here's what I know. You have to really program your mind for success. You have to program it deliberately. Because of that exposure, my brother didn't get that. He was in another part of the house. But because of that exposure, it did something for me. It changed my mental blueprint. And I can say to you that as you take the time every day, if you didn't do anything but 1 hour a day, listen to things to build your spirit up. Listen to things to fortify your faith. Listen to things that will cause your mind to grow and to expand. I can tell you, based upon my own experience, there are things that you can do that you don't even realize. And today it's going to be focused on mindset. See, at the end of the day, if you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. Well, what we're going to do is help people to change what I call the private voice, that subconscious mind that has been given to us by the world, and how to begin to overcome that negative thinking that's caused most of us to sabotage ourselves unconsciously. It's going to be a day focused on that, beginning to restructure the thinking and give people a vision of themselves beyond their circumstances and mental conditions. I'm excited about this experience and what we're going to provide. And we're going to be keeping you informed as the day progresses.
Mr. Brown, I'm a woman. I'm a female, obviously. So the next two questions are asked on behalf of all the women out there that are raising sons and children, the single parents that are single-handedly providing leadership and raising their children. So what role has women played in your life in molding and shaping your life over the last couple of years? What role has women played in your life in molding and shaping your life?
I'm so glad you asked me that question, because I plan on writing a book to debunk the theory that a woman can raise a boy to be a man. I want to just, first of all, get that out of the way, because 81% of the households in our community are headed up by women. My mother raised me and my brothers to be men. And at Father's Day time, I gave my mother a Father's Day card. I remember being in Chicago and I was on radio there. And during the time of Father's Day, I invited men who provide and protect and mothers who serve as fathers.
Yes, yes.
Very
I remember doing that with my mother, growing up in a single parent home, and year after year, and I still do it, give my mother a Father's Day card, because women basically are holding it down, you know?
Without any question. And so there's a difference between a father and a sperm donor. And so I think that when I think about myself, when I went on television and had a talk show, I would always end it by saying, "This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. It's been a pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege." And I did that intentionally. I told my daughters, never, ever become involved with a man who does not respect his mother. Because a man who does not respect his mother will never respect you. So be selective and find out what is his relationship with his mother. Now, I'm not talking about somebody that's allowing themselves to be manipulated by their mother, but somebody who honors and respects their mother. I'm here because of two women. One gave me life, the other gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, "All that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother." I was reflecting on the impact that my mother has had on me. Number one, I learned the power of faith. I remember a reporter asking her, "How did you know you can raise 7 children by yourself as a single mom and you never had any children?" And she said, "I just believe that the Lord will make a way somehow." The other quality I learned from my mother, not only faith, but perseverance. My mother went through a lot raising us. I was the most problematic child. I mean, I was more problems than all of the other ones put together. That's why this one to my right has blessed me with that. Okay, I know happened on the other side. Said, now you got yourself to deal with. and I remember when I brought my mother home, and that was my childhood dream. And she said, "Leslie, you didn't have to do this." I said, "I know, Mama, but you didn't have to adopt us either." And then she looked at the house, looked around, and she looked at me and said, "And you were such a problem child." I said, "I know, but I got money now."
Yeah. Oh, I love that. The problem child that has money now.
Yeah.
I just call it creative genius.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's the creative genius, because the educational system and society is built on a cookie cutting mechanism. And so if you have everyone that thinks alike and acts alike, you can control those individuals. But when you have a divergent, when you have an outlier, and you were the divergent thinker, you were the outlier, there's no place in a cookie cutting machinery to put that individual. And it takes someone with great capacity like Miss Mamie Brown, and to be able to raise that level of greatness.
Thank you. Yeah, this is true because Mama was an entrepreneur as well. So I learned faith, perseverance, and entrepreneurship. She was very entrepreneurial. My mother used to sell slices of sweet potato pie for 50 cents. And the people loved it because she could bake a sweet potato pie so good, you couldn't eat it with your shoes on. You had to take your shoes off so you could wiggle your toes.
Just to wiggle the toes. And you're still wiggling the toes.
Yes.
And it's interesting, our background has so much similarity. I come from, I'm one of 7 children, and we were raised in a single parent home as well. So we have some things in common. And one of the things that we have in common is a strong mothers that raised us with a love for God and a love for humanity, that taught us how to give back. But we were also raised with mothers who were entrepreneurs out of necessity, And so this takes me to my next question. what role has women actually played in your business? Not just in your life, but in your business as well.
Yes, it's a major role. For instance, one of the people that played a key role in my beginning to expand was my daughter, Ona Brown, Dr. Ona Brown, because she learned how to negotiate international contracts when I was speaking. And I didn't have the time to do that, nor did I have the mindset to do that. But she took it upon herself to learn how to negotiate international contracts and allowed me to travel to over 51 countries. And she accompanied me on those particular trips as well as John Leslie. So my daughter, who is now the CEO of the company, she has been a major force, and including another friend of mine, the former news reporter for Detroit News, but now lives in Atlanta, and her name is Lauren Hudson. She has been very instrumental and been a key person to help me to get to where I am and to help me to begin to expand and be more strategic and impactful for the companies that we select and that we serve, and the amount of products that we can offer them.
Yeah, that's really, really good, Mr. Brown. And I look forward to an opportunity to introducing Ona Brown, because she's a force in and of herself. And I think that she will be such an encouragement and inspiration for the women that are listening even now and those that will listen later. Thank you so much for sharing with that.
I forgot to share with you, Dr. Celeste Johnson. She's been a business partner for years. She used to travel as my assistant. Now she has Celeste Johnson International, and she helped people to produce online presentations and how to sell their products and expertise, because knowledge is the new currency.
Yes, it is.
Yes, she's been the longest lasting professional female that I've had in my business.